The cameras may have stopped rolling, but the drama was far from over. Word was spreading like wildfire, and the streets were buzzing with whispers that threatened to shake love and hip-hop to its core. An explosive off-camera clash had surfaced, and fans couldn't believe what they were hearing. Yandy Smith, usually known for her calm and polished demeanor, was reportedly caught in a heated exchange, where she dropped a bombshell that left the set frozen, pointing fingers at Kirk, Frost's son, and labeling him something unthinkable. The accusation, though unconfirmed, instantly spiraled into a frenzy, leaving fans gasping for air and the cast scrambling for answers, and as if that wasn't enough, insiders claimed that Mendeecees didn't stay silent. He stood firmly by Yandy's side, echoing her words in a way that sent shockwaves through the entire room. Sources even revealed that Rashida, overwhelmed by the weight of it all, broke down in tears, torn between her loyalty to family and the horrifying rumors now circling around her child. The betrayal, the intensity, the sheer emotional weight of it all had everyone questioning what really went down that day. Buckle up, because this wasn't just gossip, it was the kind of scandal that could change everything. The whispers began quietly, like secrets passed in hushed voices, but within hours, those whispers had turned into a storm nobody could control. On set, people were still piecing together what had actually gone down. Some crew members swore they heard Yandy raise her voice off camera, her tone sharp and filled with frustration, accusing Kirk's son of something too dark to ignore. "He's dangerous," they claimed she said, her voice cutting through the air when tensions were already running high. It wasn't just the words that stunned people, it was the raw intensity behind them. And Mendeecees, usually the calm presence by her side, didn't back down either. Insiders claimed he nodded along, almost validating her claim, leaving the entire set paralyzed in disbelief. Cast members didn't know whether to defend, to react, or to simply stay silent. The weight of what had just been said was too heavy to carry. And then came the breaking point. Rashida, who had been standing only a few feet away, collapsed under the pressure. Witnesses described her face crumbling, her eyes filling with tears as she whispered in a trembling voice, "Not my family. Not my son." The pain in her tone cut through the chaos like glass shattering. No mother ever expects to hear her child's name tied to something so dark, so unforgiving. It didn't matter that nothing had been proven. It didn't matter that these were still rumors. The damage had already been done. Once words like that escape, they can't be taken back. With the cameras turned off, there was no script, no filter, no safety net, only raw human emotions spilling out in real time. The tension was unbearable. Some cast members averted their eyes, refusing to be pulled into the fire. Others whispered nervously among themselves, their faces pale with disbelief. A few even tried to calm things down, begging Yandy to lower her voice, to think about what she was saying. But the fire was already blazing. "You don't understand," one witness recalled Yandy snapping, her eyes blazing with conviction. "People are whispering, fans are talking, the streets are buzzing, and nobody wants to admit it. But I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't hear it." Her words struck like bullets, each one making Rashida sink deeper into despair. Tears streamed down her face as she shook her head, pleading, "Why would you say that? Why would you put that on him? He's my child." At that moment, Mendeecees stepped in, his calm but firm voice only making the weight of the moment heavier. "We didn't start this," he said, glancing at the silent cast around him. "This is already out there. People are already saying it. We're just acknowledging what everyone else is scared to admit." The silence that followed was deafening. It wasn't just about the accusation anymore. It was about the fact that two of the most respected faces in the franchise had echoed whispers that fans had only speculated about for months. Hearing it from them, even off camera, gave the rumor a dangerous kind of validation. Rashida covered her face with trembling hands, sobbing quietly, the strength she had always shown. The calm exterior she carried on screen, it all crumbled in front of everyone. And without Kirk there to defend his son or shield her, she was left standing alone, taking the full blow of the storm. Crew members rushed to comfort her, trying to lead her toward a chair, but she pushed them away, insisting she could stand on her own. "I don't need pity," she cried, her voice breaking. "I just need them to stop." But Yandy wasn't done. Her voice shook with emotion, but the conviction was undeniable. "Do you think I want to say this?" she shouted, tears welling in her eyes. "Do you think I enjoy seeing you like this? I don't." But you can't ignore the truth when it's screaming in your face. "I'm not the one who started these rumors, but I hear them everywhere. And if I hear them, you better believe the fans hear them too. And once the fans start talking, there's no stopping it." Those words lit another fire, this time among the crew. Nervous glances were exchanged, as everyone imagined the fallout once these whispers leaked online. This was no longer just an Off-camera spat, this was a headline waiting to explode. The cast was divided. Some quietly sided with Yandy, believing that ignoring the rumors would only make things worse. Others felt it was reckless and cruel to throw such a heavy label on a young man when nothing had been proven. One castmate muttered under their breath, "This is too far, even for us," before storming out in disgust, but most remained frozen. Trapped in the uncomfortable storm that had swallowed the room, Rashida's sobs grew louder, her heartbreak spilling out for everyone to see. Her loyalty to the show, her commitment to keeping her family strong in public never had it been tested like this. "You're supposed to have my back," she cried, her voice breaking as she looked directly at Yandy. "We've all been through things. We've all had rumors. But this is my son, this is my blood. How could you for a moment?" Even Yandy looked shaken by the depth of her pain. But she didn't retreat, her voice softened. But her words still carried fire. "I'm not your enemy, Rashida. I'm just telling you what's already out there. Don't shoot the messenger. I care about you, I care about your family. But pretending this isn't happening won't make it disappear." Mendeecees placed a hand on her shoulder, his expression grim as he added, "Sometimes the truth hurts more than the lies." The weight of that line pressed down on the room like a heavy stone. Rashida, trembling and broken, whispered, "But what if it's not true? What if he's innocent? Do you know what this does to him, to us, to everything?" Her desperation was heartbreaking, her entire body shaking as she tried to hold herself together. But the damage was done. Once those whispers turned into accusations, there was no going back. And then, just as the air felt like it couldn't get heavier, a crew member rushed in, whispering frantically that the fans outside were already buzzing. Somehow, the story had leaked. Social media was on fire, posts, tweets, and threads speculating in real time. The private chaos had spilled into the public. Phones buzzed across the set as cast and crew scrolled in disbelief. Phrases like "Kirk's son accused" and "Yandy drops a bomb" were already trending. Hashtags multiplying by the minute. The drama had grown legs of its own, sprinting into the world faster than anyone could contain it. Kirk's fury shifted the room into silence, his voice cutting like a blade. "Don't make it worse." But the fire in his eyes refused to fade. His chest rose and fell like a man on the edge of losing control. And as he glared at Yandy and Mendeecees, the air itself felt suffocating. "If anything happens to my son, because of this, if he so much as gets threatened, that's on y'all. You better pray these rumors die fast." Mendeecees stepped forward, his tone calm but unyielding. "We're not your enemy, Kirk. We didn't accuse him. We only repeated what's already out there. If you want to be mad at the people spreading it first. Don't come at us like we created this." But Kirk wasn't moved, his fists clenched, his jaw locked, his voice dripping with venom. "Don't play with me, man. You and your wife dragged my son's name into the dirt. You could have stayed silent, but you chose to speak. That makes you responsible." The tension was unbearable. Rashida sobbed harder, begging through tears for them all to stop before the moment spiraled into something uglier. Cast members pulled out their phones again, capturing every second, knowing this footage could leak at any moment. Others looked away, too shaken to watch. The studio felt seconds away from violence, the walls themselves pressing in as if they couldn't contain the chaos. Every breath held tight, every eye fixed on Kirk, who stood tall like a storm waiting to break. Yandy tried to meet his gaze, but the intensity was unlike anything she had ever seen. Mendeecees shifted closer as if to shield her, while even the producers, who usually fed on drama, looked nervous. Rashida clung to Kirk's arm, her tears soaking into his sleeve. "Please, not like this," she begged, her voice cracked from crying. "I can't take any more, Kirk." Not in front of everybody. For a moment, her desperation softened him. But the rage was too raw to vanish completely. He turned back toward Yandy and Mendeecees, his glare burning. "Y'all better fix this. Because if my boy's life gets ruined by your mouths, you'll regret it." Yandy's face flushed, her hands trembling even as she tried to hold her ground. "You think this is easy for me? You think I enjoy saying your son's name alongside those rumors? I don't. But ignoring it doesn't erase it. I didn't start this, Kirk. I'm only saying what's already out there. People are connecting dots. And whether you like it or not, the story is spreading." Kirk's breathing grew sharper, his anger boiling. "And you repeating it just poured gasoline on the fire." He snapped, "Congratulations. You just turned whispers into headlines." The words barely left his mouth before a crew member stumbled in, holding up a phone with shaking hands. "It's already on TMZ." The room froze. A chill swept across the set. Kirk grabbed the phone, his eyes narrowing as he scrolled. There it was, his family's name in bold, dragged through the mud for the world to see. His roar shook the walls. "This is my son's life we're talking about. Do you understand that? He's not a storyline. He's not a plot twist for your ratings." Rashida collapsed into a chair, burying her face in her hands. Her sobs echoing through the silence, castmates rushed to her side, whispering comfort. That did nothing to ease her pain. The cameras weren't rolling, but the moment was rawer, realer than anything they had ever filmed. The kind of scene that leaves scars. The kind whispered about 4 years. Mendeecees broke the silence, his voice steady but his eyes locked on Kirk. Nobody wants her son's life ruined, Kirk. Nobody wants him in this. But pretending it's not happening won't protect him whether we speak or stay silent. The world has already decided. They want a story and they picked him. All we can do now is face it. Kirk shook his head violently, his fury boiling over. Face it, no. You fight it, you shut it down, you protect your family, you don't feed the wolves. His words carried venom, his glare like fire. This wasn't just about rumors anymore, it was about survival. About two men standing on opposite sides of a line that couldn't be erased. Yandy's voice cracked, tears glistening in her eyes. We know what it's like, Kirk. We've had lies, rumors, all kinds of dirt thrown at us. I know what it feels like to watch people tear your family apart online. I know your pain. But you can't shoot the messenger. I didn't create the storm, I just refuse to act like it doesn't exist. Her words, though heartfelt, only deepened Kirk's resentment. Don't you dare compare your situation to mine, he spat. Don't you dare act like you're doing me a favor by dragging my family's name through the mud. Suddenly, Rashida stood, her body shaking, her voice trembling but piercing through the chaos. Enough, she screamed, startling everyone. Tears streamed down her cheeks, but there was fire in her eyes. Do you see what this is doing to us? Do you see me breaking in front of you? This isn't a storyline, this isn't entertainment, this is my child, my baby. And I'm watching his life get destroyed in real time. And none of you care. Not one of you cares. Her breakdown silenced the room. Even the producers shrank back, realizing the scandal was now a wildfire they couldn't contain. A younger castmate whispered under their breath, this is a fire. This isn't TV anymore. Kirk pulled Rashida close, holding her like a shield against the world. His voice was low but firm. We'll get through this. I don't care what they say. I don't care how loud the noise gets. I'll protect him. I'll protect you. They won't break us. His words dripped with determination, but the tremble in his voice betrayed the fear underneath. Across the room, Yandy and Mendeecees stood together, their faces conflicted. Yandy's eyes shimmered with guilt as she realized the depth of Rashida's pain. Mendeecees kept his jaw tight, his arms crossed, bearing the heat of Kirk's rage. The divide between the families had never been clearer. Friends had turned into adversaries. Trust had shattered into betrayal. Outside, the noise grew louder. Fans gathered, chanting, live streaming, demanding answers. The scandal wasn't just online anymore, it was alive in the streets. Reality and real life had blurred so deeply that even the cast couldn't tell where the show ended and their lives began. Under the dim streetlights, whispers turned darker, each rumor growing heavier by the hour. Tension pulsed through the neighborhood like electricity. Alliances cracked like glass, and nobody knew who to trust. Hearts broke, bonds strained. And the fallout became a chain reaction, pulling everyone deeper. By the time the night stretched on, exhaustion didn't bring peace, it brought reflection. The arguments were played like a broken record, anger gave way to silence. But that silence hurt more than shouting. Tears locked away finally spilled, and confessions broke through the chaos. Some found healing in being heard. Others shattered further, realizing the scars were permanent. The storm raged inside, while outside the night carried on indifferent. But for those trapped in the chaos, time froze. Each heartbeat carried the weight of choices and betrayals. And in the cracks of that storm, a fragile hope flickered that the very pain ripping them apart might one day force them to rebuild. Still, the night refused to give answers. It left only questions haunting, unresolved. Would there be forgiveness? Collapse? Redemption? No one knew. But as the silence stretched long, one thing was certain. The damage had been done. And tomorrow's weight would decide whether they survived it or broke completely.